Let's roll.
Okay.
Governor, we talked a few moments ago about the bureaucracy in the United States, and Congress and the Senate seemingly more and more are passing bills, or the bills keep coming up to really regulate beyond not just bureaucracy but by law such issues as the abortion issue, as I mentioned, the child raising issue now, sexual standards for the American people, several states now licensing of religious organizations, basically getting down to telling us that we can or cannot do something that is basically against the Bible. This kind of upsets us a little bit as Christians and evangelical Christians. It upsets us because we feel a nation that turns its standard against the standard of the Word of God is a doomed nation. And that is why, I'll be blunt with you, the murder in the last few years of 7 million unborn babies is a hard subject for us to deal with these days. It's the sexual standards and other standards. We feel that we have a country that's free and open, and man should have that privilege. But when it by law says you cannot pray, or you have to have the liberty to do something that's contrary to our belief, this concerns us. How about you?
Well, it concerns me very much. And again, it's another example of forgetting the meaning of the Constitution. What we're seeing today, I think, is we're interpreting the Constitution now, not that there shall be a separation of state and religion. We're seeing the interpretation that there will be a separation and an elimination of religion.
Yes.
I think that atheism, in a way, is a kind of a belief, and yet the law is now favoring that. When one woman, an atheist, can succeed in getting prayer out of every school in the United States because it's contrary to atheism, there isn't anything in the Constitution. It makes it very clear this is a nation under God, and we must never forget that. And
am I interpreting that you would be in favor of having prayer back in the public schools?
yes, you are interpreting correctly. I would. It never should have been out of there. But the government is intervening there.
Woo! Yeah.
Isn't it powerful?
Powerful.
I mean, he just flat out says, yes, I'm in favor of having prayer back in public schools.
Yes.
And he was so clear and plain.
Yes, he was.
You know, I think people get scared of people who are running for office that are clear and plain in what they say. I think they like that mumble jumble so they don't have to figure it out.
Circles. Double talk.
Double
Yep.
talk.
There it is, Robin. Double talk.
Wow.
Yes. Let's go on.
Let's go on.
Unless, Professor, do you have anything you'd like? I know there's a lot we could just
spend weeks on
that's
this one.
right. Right. We're just starting to give you just a little bit of this interview, and we'll discuss
Is this
more
number
later.
10 now? Number
Yes.
10?
Yes.
So this is prayer and sex. That's pretty strange together, but prayer and sex education. Let's see what he has to say.
And am I interpreting that you would be in favor of having prayer back in the public schools?
Yes, you are interpreting correctly. I would. It never should have been out of there. But the government is intervening there. Let's take sex education. They made a very rational case for the fact of unhappiness and high divorce rates and so forth due to ignorance with regard to this field, and the children were not getting the proper education in it at home, so therefore the schools were going to take it over. But then came the issue of, well, how do you do this without stepping on someone's toes regarding their religious beliefs? So the result was sex will be taught in the schools with no moral connotation whatsoever, as a purely physiological act, just physical, like eating a ham sandwich when you're hungry. Well, in a sense, when you do that, you are teaching immorality. You cannot conceive of discussing sex without discussing the moral aspects of it. And Yet we've done this. In one school district in California, in the very first few years after sex education classes started, the venereal disease rate among teenagers in that district went up 4,000%.
Oh,
Now, don't tell me that's a coincidence.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
have you ever heard a president
I-
talk that plain and clear? You don't not understand what he's saying.